Hey guys, welcome in. Today I'm doing a little bit of a back and bicep training, or in my case, it's actually bicep and back training. Now there's a reason that I like to start with my biceps before I get into back, and I'm gonna go over all of that with you throughout this training. So I'm gonna answer some of the top questions that most of you ladies have about training back, sort of like why we need to do it and the best practices and ways to do it. So let's get into it and let's get some weight on. Okay, so I'm going to start my training today with an activation, which is going to be face bowls with hands down or palms down. And so this is really going to get an activation on my upper back. And then it's superset with stretch curls for biceps. And the reason I like to do my biceps first is because I have a tendency to sort of take over my back exercises with my biceps. So I already have a little bit of a difficulty getting the mind muscle connection with my back muscles, especially my lats. So I like to go ahead and exhaust my biceps and my arms before getting into any lat work. That way my arms and my biceps aren't taking over and I can maximize my lat movements. So, all right, let's get started. All right, so I've got my rope attachment on here. I got my weight set. I'm gonna pull out and just stand back a little bit so I can get that sort of balance in my stance, and then just pull right to about my nose and really make sure that I'm contracting. Trying to stay as upright as possible. So the idea is to be as slow and controlled as possible and really making sure that you're getting that contraction when you pull back and that you're feeling it right across your upper back and really getting those muscles. So one of the reasons that we like to train back is because it really helps with posture. I know for me personally, my shoulders have a tendency to round forward. So that's something that I'm always conscious of, making sure that I'm standing up and rolling my shoulders back, because otherwise they're like this. And I have stronger traps, so those kind of take over. So I want to make sure that I roll back, I keep my rib cage up. It just helps my overall posture, and this is something that I'm actively working on. So I would strongly suggest you kind of take a look in the mirror, stand to your side, just how do you normally stand? And make sure that you're rolling your shoulders back, keeping your upper back contracted, and really holding up your posture. Makes a huge difference. Okay, stretch bicep curl. Here we go. I'm gonna take a step out. I'm gonna keep it set, and I'm just gonna come up. And really stretch your bicep out. Just bring it up. And really stretch your bicep out. Make sure you feel it. So again, I like to start with my biceps because I want to wear them out before I start really getting into my back movements. It's a great way to get started and just sort of start getting things activated. And moving through the workout. Can you hear I'm already like huffing and puffing? I don't even take pre-workout. I only like to do water because I'm sort of off chemicals at this point. Ladies, you want to get your heart rate going. You want to make sure that you're breathing, taking in that oxygen. All right, so we're doing 3 sets of this superset to start. I've already done 2 sets. I'm gonna do my last set before moving on. I've increased the weight, still huffing and puffing, which is good. So we wanna keep that heart rate up. So if you think that like lifting weights, you're not gonna get like any kind of cardio out of it, you get some cardio out of it, believe me. Especially when you're doing a superset, the idea is like no rest in between the exercises. So once you're done with whatever those cluster of exercises is, then you can take your break. So let's do it again. All right, so now we're gonna do some wide grip lat pull downs. This is something I really struggle with because I cannot get that connection with my lats to save my life. So I like to start with the weight just a little bit lighter so I can really start just kind of trying to feel it as much as I can. And sometimes, like if I just get too heavy, lose it altogether, I'll have to just back the weight down. So we're gonna start at 60 pounds and see how it feels. Okay, let's try this again. All right, we're gonna go up in weight. We're going to 75 because that was really light. I'm gonna try a different angle and hopefully it's a little less busy. For whatever reason, our gym is super busy today, which is annoying. Why can't it just be empty when I wanna be here? Okay, that was a little too heavy. So I definitely noticed that I wasn't getting the connection that I needed just from the weight. So we're gonna drop it down. See, to about like 67.5. And hopefully that'll be like the sweet spot. So the goal is really to make sure that you're not losing your form, but you're still pushing yourself. So if you're like, okay, this feels easy, I can do this for 20 reps, 30 reps, and probably you need to go a little bit heavier. But if you feel like I'm not getting great form, it's definitely like not hitting what I need it to because I'm just struggling to move the weight, then it's gonna be too heavy. So you really need to find that sweet spot in between where you're like, all right, I'm pushing myself, I can feel it, but I'm still getting it where I need it to be. And that's really something that you have to figure out on your own. And I always think to myself, like, I'm not walking around with like my weights over my head. Doesn't matter if I can lift heavy or not. At the end of the day, it's not my focus. If it is your focus, then absolutely go for it, push yourself to the max. But I'm more about aesthetics. Like, I just wanna look good. I wanna look good naked. I wanna look good in my clothes. And yeah. That's, the number doesn't matter. That was a good set. That was a good set. Feel it where I needed to. Struggling a little bit, especially the last couple. We're good to go. Let's move on. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is a single arm row machine, and this is plate loaded. Single arms are great. Again, if you have a hard time getting connection, you wanna use more of like those iso movements, so you're doing things one at a time. It's also great if you have an imbalance, if one side of your body is stronger than the other, so that can kind of help the other one catch up. So, yeah, I like to sit up a little bit higher. That way when I'm coming back, I'm kind of bringing it down a little bit. I'm really getting that squeeze right here, again, in the lat, because that's where my issues are. I definitely feel like more on one side than I do on the other. So I try to take it slow and just be as intentional with the movement as I possibly can. That wasn't too bad. We're gonna add some weight. I'm getting on a horse. Trying to keep my shoulders square. Feeling it here. My left side is definitely the side that I feel more than my right, which is weird because I'm right-handed, so you would think I'd be more in touch and in tune with my right side. So it's something that I have to work on as much as I can, because I can feel it all day on my left side, but not on my right. So I just have to be as intentional as I possibly can with trying to get that connection. Do you struggle with that? Is it just me? I feel like it's not just me. Last set. Let's make it count. All right, so my last workout for my back day is gonna be a single arm pull down. I'm gonna try to get through this before my camera battery dies. Again, not the greatest, so I'm still working on that my muscle connection. And I only had one bicep exercise to warm up for this day. I definitely need more. I have a separate arm day, which is why we didn't do a lot of biceps on this day, but I definitely need more in order to get the exhaustion that I need in order to really be able to engage my lats at this point. But, I'm sorry. Chris put a peppermint in my mouth before I started recording. All right, I just finished up my back training. By the last set of my single arm pull downs, I was definitely feeling it, so I was finally able to get that connection. If you struggle with this at all, you know what I'm talking about, but it's important that you just slow down and really go through the movements with the intention. I mean, you can kind of get away with not feeling it really as much if you're maybe just starting out and going through the motions and getting used to it, but once you're a little bit more seasoned, you really want to dial in and have more of that connection and really just more of that exercise intelligence is what we call it. I really wanted to go over some most asked questions when it comes to back training. So the first question was, how do I get rid of back fat? Well, first of all, you can't spot reduce. It's really important that you remember that. It's going to be an overall process. Building muscle overall, cutting back on calories, maybe increasing your cardio, your movement, because at the end of the day, it's really calories in, calories out, and how we're going to lose body fat. And it's going to be all over. It's not just, again, a spot reduction. You can't just lose body fat in your back. So you need to make sure that you're building up your back muscles at the same time, eating in your deficit and maybe getting more movement, which is going to help sort of like cut your fat overall. Another question is working out my back going to make me more bulky? Absolutely not. When you work out your back, it's actually going to help give you more of that hourglass shape that we love. So if you build up your lats a little bit, think of it as an hourglass. Story time. Think of it like an hourglass. So your lats are going to come down like this, which is going to make your waist look smaller. And then you're going to build out your hips a little bit. So that way, again, you get that full hourglass figure. So having that V-taper in your back is going to make everything look smaller. I know, it's crazy when you think about it. It's the same thing with your shoulders. So you want to make sure that you're working on building muscle in creating that V, sort of hourglass shape. It's funny whenever women say like, oh, I just want to look toned. Toned means muscle. If you want to look toned, it means that you want to have muscle, but you want to be lean. So you don't want to have the body fat. You want to show off your muscle. So keep that in mind the next time you're like, I just want to look toned. I don't want to, get bulky. You're not going to get bulky. It's not a thing. Ladies out there that are bodybuilders that you think look bulky, work hard for that physique, and that is with intention. Sometimes it's with help, but if that's not what you're going for, it's not what you're looking for, it's not going to happen. You don't need to worry about it. So you made it to the end of this video. I really appreciate you tuning in and watching. If you have any questions, there's anything you want to see, just drop us a line, leave us a DM or a comment below. We're happy to make a video. The man is here to answer all your burning questions, and we'll see you next time. Like, that was a really unfortunate series of events.